Okay, for CAD tutorial 3, we're going to take the parts from the first two CAD tutorials and make a simple assembly. So I've gone ahead and opened all the parts we'll need. So we'll start with the spindle, and then there's the brake disc, the disc bobbin, which is what will go between the two, sort of to pin between the two, and the retaining ring goes on the bobbin to make sure it doesn't fall out. I'll put all these parts in one place for you guys to do the tutorial. So we'll start by making a new assembly. E15. Spindle assembly E1. Put this in a folder from the tutorials. Okay, so we'll start by adding in the spindle. For the first part, we're going to put it on the absolute origin of our assembly. Just hit OK. So now the spindle origin is lined up with the assembly origin, which makes sense for this. When we build the whole car, it won't always be like that, but for right now, just to show how we do it. So then we'll go to the assemblies menu, we'll go add, then we're going to add in the disc bobbin. We're going to go now by constraints, and we're going to actually pattern the component after we add it. Say OK. So then we'll get the constraint menu. We'll select the edge here. We'll select the edge here. And then we'll select this edge and that edge. Okay, hit OK. Actually worked. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to make a circular pattern, specifying the vector, the y-axis, specifying a point. We'll pick an edge here. Count. We'll go by count and span again. So there's 6 across 360 degrees. So that should pattern them for every location. Okay. So you'll see here, brake disc bobbin times 6. And that's the pattern. Those circles is like the pattern constraint. We can hide all that, those things in the end. Okay, and then we'll add in the, so we'll go add, we'll add in the retaining ring by constraints pattern after add, same thing. Select an edge, it lines up with this edge, and then select another edge, lines up with this edge. Okay, perfect. And then same thing, pattern that around the y-axis. Okay. And then last thing is we'll add in the brake disc. By constraints, we're not patterning it after we add. Okay. So we can do a couple things. We can go align. Actually, what we're going to do is select the outer axis here, the outer edge, and the outer edge there. Apply. Select the edge, hit apply. this face, that face. Okay. Should not quite work. Okay, so get rid of this align. So now we can just go back to assembly constraints. Just going to delete those two constraints that didn't seem to work. So should be able to align these center axes. There we go. Alright, and then that didn't work either. Assembly constraints, touch aligner, infer center axis, here and here, that's fine. And then we can align this with this. There we go. Okay, so that's lined up now. We can also align that center hole, but sometimes if you align the brake disc here to the brake disc bobbin, it might try and move the brake disc bobbin, whereas since the spindle is anchored at the origin, it sort of makes more sense to reference everything to the spindle. Okay, so now we have that assembly done. And last little thing is going to be the show and hide menu. So here we can hide the assembly constraints. Okay. And we can hide the pattern as well. So here you'll see the pattern. You'll see there's 6 there and there's 6 there, and then everything's nice and neat. And so by cleaning up the part, it keeps our CAD clean. So that's kind of about it. Not too complicated.